Is not why you were here?
What makes a good story is a good yarn. Frequently you can get mired and get stuck in your own sludge with getting too intellectual. I think if you can tell the story, what this film is about, in more or less 30 seconds or a minute, less than a minute, then you've probably got something, because everything else after that is enlargement. This film is about boom.
This is the moment. This is it. It's an adventure. It's a great adventure. You want to take them places that you've never been before. You want to show them town like you've never seen before.
So the film is called Quantum Kleptomania. It's set in 2060, London. And my literary references are Shakespeare's The Tempest, Homer's Iliad, Odysseus, Alfred North Whitehead's seminal work, 1940s Process and Reality. And my film references are Ridley Scott, Quentin Tarantino, and films, seminal works like Blade Runner, Alien, and Kill Bill. Pulp Fiction, of course, falls heavily in the influences. So here's the treatment. A couple of university graduates, B9 and Scott, decide to set up a business in commercials. Now, sorry, the other literary reference was Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. So I've borrowed from that and twisted it a bit. So I've got the pattern cutter's tale. So B9, the pattern cutter, he works with software and identifies, global software that can be used in the production of the commercials. Whereas Scott, his brother is a nuclear physicist working on the latest quantum computer and has worked out a technique to create quantum entanglement and load it down with software into a chip implanted in B9's hand. Now, the only person in the company, RS Global, that has a name is Scott. Everybody else, because there's thousands of people working, I've got a number. And they are like replicating each other's work. And B9, B-Mine, is the closest person to Scott. And he's been working with Scott for 10 years on creating these commercials. But what he and the other 1,000 replications do is go out to universities under the guise of doing film workshops and actually telemetrically download all of the creative ideas from the student's mind by shaking hands with them with this implanted chip. However, where the story takes a turn is one of the African students, Monday, well, her cousin has just graduated from Harvard, but also he's had passed down through generations of the family a spirit-seeing healer. So he has these spiritual powers. And he immediately notices that Monday has been drained of some of the energy from her soul. Somebody has stolen a part of her soul. And like a shaman, he sees the vision of what has happened, and he says it's your teacher. So he does a libation, they talk with the ancestors, and she is imbued with very powerful spiritual techniques. So the next time she goes into class and meets B9, when she shakes his hand, B9 trembles as though he's been electrocuted. And there's a reverse quantum entanglement that happens. So all the data, not just from B9, but from RS Global, their oracle, their central computer, is completely wiped and reversed, all into Monday's head, into her soul. As a result, RS Global, the share price collapses, and Monday's cousin, Ace, he has friends in Goldman Sachs. He gets a finance package together, backed by Goldman Sachs, buys RS Global for next to nothing, and considering that all of their data is in Monday's head, he, using his spiritual technique, downloads it into his own central Oracle too, and takes all of the previous clients from GS Global. Now, here's the thing where the billions are made. GS Global had got a contact with Alphabet, a mother company of the dominant neoliberal global capitalist company on our planet, who had created the metaverse, the Internet of Things. So again, borrowing from a concept from Blade Runner, where the backlot has got lots of adverts, some are holograms, some are neon adverts. Basically, the Internet of Things is when these advertising sites detect you through any device you have on you coming, and tapping into all of the global data, you know, from your travel card, from your credit card, shopping at stores, from the things you buy online, from your Facebook hits, etc., is able to directly offer one of thousands of multinational services directly to you. Of course, all this, the software and the quantum entanglement had already been done, but what was lacking on such a grand scale was creative information, and it would be too expensive to employ hundreds of thousands of creators. So RS Global, using B9 and the other 1,000 replications, stole the data from students at universities. But now, Monday and her cousin Ace use the billions that they made in profits from their new global contracts, Oracle 2, to fund the building of the latest state-of-the-art universities across Africa. Got more thinking to do.
And stitching together a social safety net. And all of this led to unrivaled prosperity and the rise of a broad and deep middle class, in the sense that if you worked hard, you could climb the ladder of success. Now, not everyone was included in this prosperity. There was a lot more work to do. And so, in response to the stain of slavery and segregation and the reality of racial discrimination, the civil rights movement not only opened new doors for African Americans,